Come on in. Let's get busy. It's time. It's Motivational Monday. I'm looking for some people who want to talk about that. Come on in. Just watching. I'm watching. At some point, we'll get back. I see someone coming in. Who's there? Knock, knock. There we go. Here comes everyone. You ready for this Monday? You ready for this week? I know I am. Hi, Gwen. And there's my girl, Amy. Hi, good to see you too. Good to see you. Oh gosh, back on the juice, man. I was hot melt mix missing for a while when I was at my daughter's house, and I forgot to bring it. I was going to transfer it because, I mean, who wants to be putting this big clunker right in their suitcase? And I completely forgot to do it. What do you want with that? I'm so glad I'm home too, Susan. Thank you. Yeah, it was a good time. It's a good time. It's always a good time to go see your family. It's always a good time to come home too. You get home in your own bed, your own routine. Everything goes back to normal, whatever that is. Good morning, Lynn. Joanne's in the house as well. Good to see all my girls. Laura, she's ready. You guys, I've got some good stuff here that I want to talk to you about today. All right, first of all, are you sharing this? By the way, our winner last week was Tammy, who won the Mindful Mug. I will draw another name in a couple of weeks. A week from this Friday will be the next winner for a Mindful Mug. And the way you get these is just simply by sharing these videos. When you share, you care. When you share and care and you talk a little bit about maybe something that you're learning here, that lets me know that there's an impact happening here. I don't want to just be flapping my gums, you know? You don't want me just flapping my gums, do you? Anyway, I lost a pair of glasses at the airport. It was a long, long day yesterday, and I am still exhausted. I look kind of puffy, and you know, I don't think you can drink enough water while you're on an airplane. You know, they just completely wipe you out. So I'm just super glad to be home. And by the way, what am I drinking? I am drinking hot melt mix. It is back in the shop, you guys. We have the thing that we're out of right now is Perfect Paleo Protein Vanilla, but it will be in stock by Thursday. And just remember, when you order Perfect Paleo Protein, you also get 90 recipes that go with it. We do that for free. But this week, you know what the big one is? And I think probably for a lot of people, this is going to be a real lifesaver. Sorry, you can't see that. It's L-glutamine. L-glutamine is an amino acid that will cut cravings like that. Just like that. I'm going to show you exactly how I do it. First of all, you get your finger a little wet. I just put it in a little hot melt mix. You put it in a little dish, just like this. It's loose. Teeth, tongue, gums. Demo. That was a demo. I get credit for that. It cuts cravings off at the knees. If you have any kind of craving whatsoever, whether it's heroin or sugar, it will help. It will help. I learned this from a psychiatrist who deals nothing except with addicts, and she knows this. She's an MD. This is how it works. And I'm telling you, that is some good stuff. We have a new quote this week. Yay. Are you glad for this new quote? I love this one because it's a good one. Change happens when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change. How many times have you been confronted with this? Because, you know, a lot of times people have a different driver on what is going to be the reason for their change. And there's two things, pleasure or pain. Think about it. You're either driven for pleasure, like I want to look good in my wedding dress kind of a thing, and you're dieting and working out like crazy, or the pain of getting some photos back and taking a look in the mirror and going, holy moly, what happened there? You know, I look like the back end of a truck. So there's two ways of looking at this, and so we have to look at that. You know, Tony Robbins, of course, in this quote is not saying a thing about anything about, you know, the pleasure of change. She's really talking about the pain. And for most people, that's what it is. We want to move away from the pain. We want to know that the pain is is too much. A lot of times people have a moment when they're handed a diagnosis or something else has happened, and that moment transforms them and makes a decision for them. It's the pain. But that's not what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about decision from a very different point of view. This I got from my friend David Bayer, who is a brilliant guy, and he has the Powerful Living Experience. He does this he does it in Orlando, Florida, and it's for people who really want to experience a powerful life. And he changed my mind on a couple of things that I want to share with you because this stuff is good. He doesn't have a book or anything that I could share that with you, but you can go take a peek at his website, which is davidbayer.com. So if you want to see any more of his stuff, because it is that good. Also, watch your email boxes. By the way, are you signed up for our emails? We are doing the Bloom event. It is happening 2 months from today, really, is when the VIP part starts, and then we go into the event itself on that Saturday. And if you want to find out more about it, go to savingdinner.com/Bloom. You'll see everything. And it's just exciting. Also, the Collagen Challenge started today. If you are in the Collagen Challenge and also in our Daily Dish group, it's right here on Facebook, that's where we'll be interacting. So you'll see me there a little bit later. I'll be talking about that. But today we're talking about, by the way, L-glutamine. If you put the L-glutamine, yes, back to this, L-glutamine in your cart, and believe me, you'll want this. There's 85 servings and it lasts forever. It helps heal your gut as well. It's the free shipper this week. Put ships free in the little code box there, and anything that you put in your box will ship free. And a lot of you are taking advantage of this. And I just want you to know, only here on Facebook will you be hearing about this. Only in our lives will you be hearing about this. It doesn't go out in the mail, the emails, or anything else. So if you want to take advantage of this, put everything that we have in the shop in your box. As long as the L-glutamine's in there, you will get it for free shipping. Don't you love a good free shipping deal? I'm all about that. So The Power of Decision. This book is one of the books that was recommended. It's an old book by this old guy named Raymond Charles Barker. And he wrote about, this was from 1946. And he was all part of the whole Napoleon Hill and all these guys that kind of came out with the new positive thinking ideas, and people really starting to understand that it wasn't just a matter of grinding it out, do it, you have to go do, work, provide shelter, feed the family, and that's it. That there was more to life, and that we actually have a hand in making our own dreams come true if we want. And it starts with the positive mental attitude. You hear about that all the time. But this guy talked about how decisions and indecisions, and because I've mentioned this before, that decisions are powerful things. And an indecision is also a powerful thing, because in an indecision, by not making a decision, you are defaulting to whatever happens. And that's sort of a passive-aggressive way of living your life if you really think about it, because who wants that? I want a life where I can sort of make these decisions that are powerful, that can move the needle in my life. And that's what this whole thing is about. And one of the things that was in this book, and also what David Bayer was talking about, was one of the biggest needle movers for him was having the transformational power of language. How what we say about ourselves, how what we say to others about ourselves, and I'll never be, I can't do this. And you've heard me talk about this too, how it absolutely 100% changes your brain. Your brain responds to what you tell it. So if you're saying, I will never lose weight, your brain's going to say, I am going to help you with that. No problem. I'm all about helping you with that. The reticular activating system, which, we've talked about the car example a million times, that, you decide to buy a blue Prius and suddenly on the road you see all these blue Priuses. It wasn't because they weren't there before. It's just now that your reticular activating system is activated, now you're seeing them. This is how it is with life. We see the things that we are attracted to and that we're bringing to in our lives. Negative or positive, it doesn't matter. We have to change our mind on that. And here's the thing that I know, which is so incredible, that when you get out of just doing things on automatic pilot with all of that stuff, and life is no longer the automatic pilot, conundrum that it's been, things start to change. Because now you can bring in the stuff that you want. Now that it's not like you've got a genie in a bottle and you're saying, oh, bring me the body of my dreams and don't make me have to work for it. I mean, don't we all wish, right? It doesn't quite work like that. But what we can do is we can take what we're thinking about, the dreams and the hopes and the goals and the vision and all the things that we have for ourselves. We can bring all of that into our decision-making process. And that's where the needle moves. Instead of just kind of defaulting to whatever and kind of, doing things on a hope and a prayer and just hoping that everything's going to work out, we actually put some skin in the game and put some thought into it and create a strategy and make decisions based on that. And that is how it is for everything. And I have seen, like, for example, in all of our groups, I have seen the people who are active, who are doing the things, they're taking the teachings to heart and completely changing their lives and saying things like, I'm off the medications, I'm wearing size 6 jeans, I lost 50 pounds, I'm keeping it off. All these different things that are happening. And the reason that they're happening, they have transformed their actions and their language. What they're saying about what it is that they're doing is different. Instead of I'll never lose weight, they're saying, you know what, I am going to put my heart and soul into this program and I'm going to do the very best that I can, and I know that I'm going to get the results. They flipped a switch. They flipped their thinking. And we can't, whatever, and I've seen these emails before that I've gotten, from other people of, I just don't have the motivation. How do I get motivated? And I will always say to you this very same thing, that motivation doesn't just come sprinkling out of the sky like manna from heaven. Motivation comes from doing. And that's where the seed of motivation has to come from an idea that you have. Like an idea like, I want to feel better about myself. I want to feel better about my body. And again, better about my health, better about just my energy levels, better about whatever it is that you want to feel better about. And then you can make that one small step toward that goal, toward that vision that you have for yourself. Stuff starts to change big time, in a big way, because now you have a little success under your belt. You'll be a little bit motivated to keep going and keep going. But the idea that there's this outside magical motivational force is ludicrous. It's insane. It just doesn't happen. You can't do that. You can't sit and wait for it, because if you sit and wait for it, you're just going to be waiting for a very, very long time. It rarely happens that way. The motivation happens from us taking action and doing something. And a lot of time, and where that comes from, is to put things into perspective. You've got to take action on something. You've got to do one thing. You've got to make a decision about something. So there's a transformational way of saying something, and there's a way that's very defeating. You can say, I believe XYZ about myself, and that's good. Or you can take it up a step higher, a step 300 times higher, and say, I have decided. Think about that for a minute. So I believe I'm smart enough to fill in the blank, to do this. Or I believe I have the ability to lose weight. Versus, I have decided I am going to lose weight, no matter what. Which one's more powerful? I have decided is incredibly more powerful than I believe. I believe is just, fluffy ideas in the sky kind of a thing. Whereas I've decided, that's a decision. That's a drawing a line in the sand. That's saying, you know what? It's on. It's Monday. I'm motivated. I'm doing this. And you're doing it out of just the conviction that you have in your heart. You're doing it out of the necessity to do the thing that you need to do. And you're doing it because now you're seeing that with that action is going to come more of what you need. It all feeds itself. There's a perpetual feeding cycle. We've seen this before with depression, haven't you? I have. I mean, I had a little depression thingy, me leaving my kids and all of that, and had a little pity party and went through all of that stuff. And I'm going to tell you something. You can make a different empowering decision at any time. And I'm not here to make these, claims of, depression doesn't exist and there's no such thing as clinical depression and you don't need to see a doctor or anything like that. I certainly would never do that. But I will say that for a lot of us, it's just like, oh man, just having a downer of a day. It happens. And that downer of a day, if you can pull the plug on it and just say, okay, I see what's going on here. I'm doing this automatic pilot downward spiral thing. Because a lot of us have done that over the years, haven't we? But if we can make a different decision for that and then say, I have decided I'm not taking the downward spiral train. I'm not getting on that slide. I have decided I am instead going to go do some things that power up the endorphins that make me feel better. Which, by the way, if you're part of Take Back Your Life, that's tomorrow night. We're doing a whole thing on employing endorphins and how to get those into your life. That's part of your masterclass tomorrow night. But being enough, you are enough. By the way, you are enough. Being the person who has enough and is enough all has to do with how you see yourself and how you make declarations about yourself. And do you do it in an empowering way, or do you do it in a way that is just bringing yourself down and putting yourself into that horrible place? We have to be looking at these things because there is a time for automatic pilot for everything. I mean, how many times have you gotten in the car and driven somewhere and thought, wow, I hardly even remember getting there. You've just done it so many times. That's a pathway in your brain. I call it the Oregon Trail in your brain, because the Oregon Trail still has ruts in the road from all those years and all those people going through. They have developed that pattern. And that's a good pattern to have if it's a good empowering pattern. But if it's something that takes you down, we have to build new pathways. And that's a hard place to get, from here to there sometimes. Can be hard, can be a little difficult. It's uncomfortable. It's new. It's not easy. But the simplicity of it is understanding what it's going to take, deconstructing the whole thing and understanding that you have the power to build it at any time, because you can make that empowering decision. You can turn the language around and start empowering your brain instead of having your brain work against what you really want, and understanding that you've basically set it up that you're working against yourself. We don't have to do that kind of stuff anymore, you guys. We don't have to do that. If you love the things that are going on in your brain and understand that the transformation that you're seeking is all within, because you have the power within, you just have to work on the operating system a little bit. Have you ever had a phone that needed an upgrade on the operating system? I've got my phone right here. It's saying that it's time for an upgrade. They let you know when there's an upgrade. And we do this because we don't want to get hacked, or we want it to work better, or we want anything. We do this with our computers. We do it with our phones. Or we do it with. Can I show you my new little thing? I have an iWatch. Marla gave me it. Isn't that so exciting? I haven't learned how to use it yet, but I'm wearing it so I can get used to how it feels. But all of these things, we can sync all of our things. We can sync the way we think with our actions and with the output that comes out in our life, just like our devices. We can sync all of those. All operating systems, we can upgrade it and download the new thing, put the patch in, whatever it is. We do that religiously with our devices. Would you have a device that didn't have some kind of a protective capability, like some virus protection? Of course not. And yet we throw ourselves out to the wolves at any time, and we don't take care of the way that we're thinking. We just do it. So I want you to start thinking in these terms. This Motivational Monday. To be motivated means that you're going to start doing things just a little bit differently. You're not going to be looking for the motivation, you're going to be creating it. And you create it with the thoughts that you have and the actions that you do. And that a good thought is just, a good idea or whatever is just that if there's no action behind it. So you got to take action on it. And the fun thing is you get to watch yourself do this big old transformational thing, and you'll know that you did this. And you know what happens at the end of that? Even if it's, just you lost a pant size or whatever, along with that transformation comes a whole new you, because you change in order to support the things that you want in your life. There's nothing more cool than that. That's what I think anyway. So I hope you found that helpful today, and start saying, I have made a decision. Not just, oh, I believe, or it's just, yeah, it's cool, and maybe I'll do this. Start making some real strong declarative sentences about yourself, about what it is that you want, and let that be motivational. And let that be the beginning and the seed that you plant in your life to get exactly what it is that you want. Because it's absolutely 100% within grasp. How do you like that? It is 100% within your grasp. You just have to grab it. All right? Speaking of motivation, I need to motivate myself and get down to the gym and go lift some weights. Watch out, these guns are firing. All right, guys, that's what I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you. I'll see you in the Daily Dish if you're part of the Collagen Challenge. I will see you also tomorrow night at 7 p.m. if you on Facebook Live. Jenny will be putting out all the stuff and let you know about that if you are part of Take Back Your Life. And then on this week, it's just going to be regular stuff. So keep your eyeballs peeled. All right? Peace out, guys. I'll see ya.